Hey guys, as promised, I told you I would make a tutorial video on how to download the Google Drive to your PC. Now this is a tutorial for Windows, but it should be similar for the remaining operating systems like Linux and Mac are going to be somewhat similar. So starting off, you're going to navigate on your web browser to google.com and you can hit /drive/download. Or you can just web search Google Drive and there will be a download link. Once you're on the main page here, you can scroll down to the For Individuals section and click on Download. And it has for Mac and PC, for iOS, for Android. So I've got the install package here. Go ahead and open it. And we got a little downloading icon right here. Installation's complete. Once the download is done, you'll be left at some thanks for downloading page. You can navigate to your Windows Explorer now, and when you first set it up, it'll ask where you want to put the install. Now I moved mine to install on my extra hard drive for my laptop, and I just made a folder called Google Drive Storage. So as I navigate there, it dumps all of my Google Drive sync files here. And I'm going to go through the process of syncing all of our Caterpillar stuff. So I named a folder already, Heavy Equipment Synced Files, in my own personal desktop drive. You can do this however you want. This is just how I'm doing it. So nothing's in here currently. So now we just need to navigate to the web view or the web application for Google Drive. And it might show up something like this where your My Drive is the first thing you see when you log in. Go ahead and click on Shared with Me, and as long as you've got our Poundmaster Kent Trammell giving you a share link with our folder, it will say the Dog 434E model, and this folder is going to contain everything we need. Now Omar and a couple of the other people, including Adrian and Spikey, have already synced, and Adrian posted about using Shift-Z, and if you click on this folder and hit Shift-Z, you'll pull up an add menu. You could also, I believe, add a shortcut drive, and this just links the original, allowing an item to appear in more than one location. So add shortcut. Oh, and know what? That's different. Look at that. So Shift-Z. So Shift-Z will do an add, and it adds, think of this like adding a copy of the Dog 434E model, but it's exactly like Omar's explanation of linking in Blender. It's creating a link within Google Drive, and it's not duplicating the information. So Omar can throw his copy in a folder on his Google Drive somewhere. I can throw a copy on mine somewhere, and Kent can throw a copy on his somewhere. And we all have a copy that's located somewhere special in our own drives, but they all reference the original copy that Kent made. So I'm just going to click on My Drive, and you have to have it selected and it will highlight green. And you just need to click Add. It'll say it's been added to My Drive. And when I can come up here and click on My Drive now, I've got this Dog 434E model. Now, let's say I didn't want it here. I wanted it in my heavy equipment sync files. I believe I can just drag and drop it, and it will go right in there. And I can go down to my Windows Explorer. And notice how it says it's empty. There is a system icon tray in the Windows application, and it's currently in the process of downloading everything to my computer. So once I've got this working, it'll take, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes to get everything downloaded, and you'll see the files here. So I'll pause my video and wait for the downloads to complete, and then I'll unpause once this is done. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, and I was able to watch my file sync just fine. I didn't click anything, so the folder magically appeared once it was done. And the way that Google downloads is it does things in order. So when I moved it to my drive, it actually moved the file here first. And then I moved that into heavy equipment synced files. And so I had to complete downloading everything first, and then it moved everything into my folder. So don't freak out if you see it somewhere and it's not moving, just give it time, and Google operates in succession as it finishes everything you were doing on the website. So now I've got the website view, where in my heavy equipment synced files I can see our master parts, the master file itself. And so Blanch SB. And if I go into my file explorer, you should be able to see the same things. So there's our master file. Obviously, because it's a Windows application, things don't look exactly the same versus the web view. But as you can see here, I've got two Blanch SB files. And because I saved, it's saving the blend one, I had to turn that off, and I'll delete that. But all of our files are here now, so I can open up mine from the File Explorer. And I had to give it a minute to load. This is my synced file. So just to show that the syncing works properly on the master file, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this gear. I've already done it once for testing. So I shift D, Z, and I'm going to go 10 inches up. So now I've got 3 gears. And if I hit save, I'll close this down. I go back into my Dog434E model folder, and on the master I'm going to click on that and open up Blender, and my synced changes have reflected in my linked assembly, and the show overlays is turned off, so as you select things it's not going to show anything until you turn that back on. But now I've got those 3 gears just like I did in my file. And this is the power of the linking that Kent was talking about. We want to eventually make sure that our masters are all synced. So when I come back and do work, I don't want to be doing work and saving blend ones in this folder. This is an example of what not to do, and I'm doing it too. So I can delete that file. And I should be working, basically copy and save down a work in progress file in our WIP folder. And when I'm done for the day, just come back to the master parts and save over the same file that's yours. So my master file is the one that I'll want to save. And that way all these links are maintained, and anybody can open up the master file and be able to link it up. Now you can link stuff on your own file as well, but the master file shows everybody's current up-to-date stuff. Hopefully that makes sense. And sorry, I got another copy of Blender opening. That's the power of linking though, and making use of the Google Drive program. And one last thing, I think this is the way that it works that I wanted to share one small hiccup. Everything that happens on your local computer copy, notice how I went into the master's parts and I deleted my .blend1. It states right here that this is updating. It has a little icon that shows updating in progress. And when I go back to the web page, I still have my blend1 file that I deleted on my local copy of Google Drive. So I'm going to let it sit and think for a little bit. I don't believe that when you delete your local copies, that it will delete those up on the server. You may have to do the deleting here, but I'll give it a few minutes and I'll pause and I'll come back. And if it hasn't done it after 10 minutes, then I'm going to delete it on the server side. And that should reflect down on the local side as well, I believe. I've already deleted on the local side, so that's kind of hard to test. But I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so I went to the system tray icon for my Google Drive, and because I deleted this .blend1 file on the local storage, when I clicked the icon in the system tray for Google Drive, it had this pop-up that asked me what I wanted to do. And it basically says, hey, you've moved this item to the trash or out of a synced folder. This item was shared and some people may lose access. So it's at least giving me a warning, and I can restore it or I can remove the file. So I'm going to click remove, and I'll pause and see if it updates on the web browser. And I'm back. Wow, that was actually instantaneous. As soon as I clicked the button, I went and looked at my web browser and it is gone. So hopefully that helps out. You can remove from either end of the spectrum, it looks like. So I was wrong by saying you can't remove locally. Just if you're removing things, you may have to go to the system icon tray and you may have an alert that you need to accept if you're deleting files. Hopefully that helps you guys, and that'll be the end of this video.